So, I was browsing my YouTube the other day and I happened to stumble upon a striking figure, indicating that my top 10 on the hardest levels in Super Mario 3D World was a complete success.
Super Mario 3D World's a different subject.
Well now, I hope you're ready for a sequel. This one in particular was super hard to organize. Super Mario Galaxy is one of my favorite games ever, and as such, I've gotten so good at it that I can now basically get any star I want, whenever I want.
But then why do you show that one of you dying?
The levels I had in mind when making the list were so comparable in terms of difficulty that I had to time travel back to 2008 when I first played this game to get an idea of how hard each of these levels were.
How do you do that? You can't literally do that. You have to think. So, that's not very clear.
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't resist. Anyway, as with my 3D World Top 10, this is based on my opinion, and you'll see right away that no, I didn't just copy-paste from Nate Bandy. Are we clear on that? Good.
Wait, why do you mention Bandy in this? I never noticed that. You mentioned Bandy, Nathaniel Bandy?
Purple coins on the summit. Spoiling this now, you're not going to see very many purple coin missions in my list because overall they don't give me very much trouble. Some of them can...
That's minus... That's subtract us in.
Take like 10 minutes to get, but most of the time it's more annoying than hard. But in the case of the Freeze Flame Galaxy's Purple Comet level, well, I'm kinda likely to rage. The first 20 or so coins are easy to collect, but then you gotta start going all over the planet looking for these things and lose track of where you were previously. Please, don't let this ice flower impede my progress. All I want to do is spin to get more air. But that's not the end of your troubles. If you have to backtrack, you could just long jump all the way to the foot of the planet, assuming you know how to, not fall off. I love how nabbing the remaining 20 coins introduced me to a completely new area, but I'll get to that. And why does this star feel the need to shove a star mushroom in front of me? I don't need your extra help. I'm a big boy, I can take the challenge. The real hard part of this star is getting stuck
Are you sure?
on 96 or so coins, because I know that's happened to everyone at some point. But can you blame them? If 4 of those purple coins seem hard to find, that's because they actually are hard to find. My guess is they're all at the starting area.
It depends which 4 coins.
Who was going to think of looking around those random spires in the middle of the...
Who wouldn't? What? Well, that's not that hard.
freezing pond? Didn't that mushroom guy just get done telling you not to look in there? Jeez.
Who's gonna notice that guy?
Getting this star is so unreasonably hard that it just doesn't feel satisfying at all once I finally get it.
But it counts towards 100%.
And believe it or not, that's not the hardest star to get in the Freeze Flame Galaxy. No, that honor goes to the hidden star known as Conquering the Summit. You'll see why. This one was so hidden that I didn't know this whole area existed until after I played the previous star in this list. Thanks, purple coins on the summit. The Fire Flower is so dumb. I don't care that I can get ridiculous hang time with it. I don't care that I gotta shake both the Wii Remote and the Nunchuck for best results. But I do care that I can only use it for like 30 seconds. That wouldn't be much of a problem, and I can easily
This is better than Mario Galaxy 2.
get the hang time, but I can't get the air to clear that jump. If I spin, it doesn't boost me any higher. So you know what I gotta do? I gotta stop, go backward just a smidge, stop again, and then backflip, which, takes time. The whole
That is hard to comprehend.
area is full of snowmen that block your path, many of which hide sling stars. Yeah, that sounds familiar. The trouble is that it's 10 times harder to aim fireballs so that they hit the snowmen than to throw bob-ombs near piles of garbage, so oftentimes I...
What? Is that really the case? I'd say it's 10 times harder to throw bombs at the garbage than it is to throw fireballs. Like, what the heck?
I find myself having to backtrack and get another fire flower just so I can advance the level. But I haven't even gone over the wickedly annoying part yet. Did you ever notice what you don't have to worry about in purple coins on the summit? Ice bats. You can't kill them by spinning against them. That just stuns them. All I can
That's not that hard. Really, you can just avoid them if you need to.
say is good luck hitting them with fireballs. But the boulders are the absolute worst.
Boulders? Really? Alright. I found a way at the very beginning to get all the way up there.
One comes down every 10 seconds or so, but they're especially annoying the closer you get to reaching the summit.
That platform's there.
That pathway is so narrow that getting hit by a boulder is as good as an instant death, basically. And let's not forget that you have 30 seconds to burn that snowman so you can get out of that part. And if you don't get it on your first try, well, good luck. Fiery Dino Piranha. You want to know why a piranha plant shouldn't have a dinosaur tail or whatever that thing is? Well, here, take a look. Yeah, it's too heavy for him to move it around, so he has to drag it behind him and hope that it attacks Mario, not the other way around. How well do you suppose that worked out? But I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let's just talk about the level itself. By this point, you've already played the first 2 stars in the Melty Molten Galaxy, so you'll likely be familiar with the opening planet. You know, platform hopping in order to avoid landing in the lava. Just watch out for the walls that spew super hot air from the sides, and I mean hot. The pipe leads you to an equally familiar chrome dome, just without the star chips. Yeah, they weren't going to give you an easy pass to the exit this time. There's nothing but an army of fire bastards, which should give you a clue as to what to do next. The launch star then takes you to a disc-shaped planet. This is where the star chips are. You'll have to ride the moving platforms up and down in order to get them, being careful not to fall in. Also, try not to get too fancy in this area because you do run the risk of getting flattened by 2 opposing rotating platforms. Trust me, it does not look pretty.
I've never been flattened in my entire life on this. I've never been flattened. How is that possible?
But then you get to the boss. Fiery Dino Piranha appears as the final boss in the Throwback Throwdown from Mario Galaxy 2, but is it just me, or does this guy run a lot faster and more aggressively in this star?
Not by much, if any.
He really wants to cook you for his dinner. His tail lights on fire so frequently that I can never tell when it'll cool down, and I can hardly ever get a hit on him. But after I've hit him twice, he starts shooting fireballs. How some people manage to not get hit by this guy, I don't know. Oh wait, maybe the dev team got it right by not making this the Daredevil Comet mission, and I can tell you that if it was, then it would have come very close to cracking the top spot on this list. But
well, if you had to play the whole level.
I know some of you are glad you never had to worry about that, so I digress. In any case, have fun going after the tail. As you probably know, the Trial Galaxies are a series of difficult levels that have nothing to do with saving the universe. All they do is test your mastery of Wii Remote gimmicks. Each of these levels resembles another from earlier in the game, except it's a lot harder, I guess. Coming in at number 7, the Bubble Blast Galaxy makes you put Mario into a durable-ish bubble and blow him through the Electric Labyrinth. This mission is divided into 2 distinct sections. At the start of the level, you're surrounded by 5 pipes, each one leading to a mini-maze that rewards you with a star chip if you're successful. A talking sign is there to tell you, hey, you need a bubble to get around. Good luck. The mini-mazes go from easiest to hardest clockwise from the top, but you can play them in any order. Each maze has you face different obstacles, but you can get a serious abundance of coins provided you don't die. The obstacles are similar to those you faced in a previous star. There's just one glaring difference. The electric fences. See, whenever you're in a bubble, you're just floating over deep space. Losing your bubble in any way, shape, or form is basically an auto-kill. You gotta avoid anything that isn't a coin or a mushroom. But once you gather all the star chips and launch our mustachioed hero to the other section of the level, then the real fun begins. No star chips, no question mark coins, and probably no star bits either. Just Bubble Mario all the way to the goal. While turning sharp corners, being chased by bullet bills, distracted by more coins everywhere, tantalized by one-up mushrooms, almost pinched by rotating walls, annoyed by the unfittingness of the BGM, you can't take your time here.
But there's not as much electric things. So, electric fences, there's not as many. But still, that's hard.
This level demands precision, or accuracy, one of the two. Guts of steel, and an expert sense of bullshit timing. You're not gonna get this star the very first time you play it. I sure as hell didn't. You might notice that I'm not discussing these levels as if I'm ranting on them. Let me remind you that this is my favorite Mario game of all time, and as such I generally don't get frustrated by these levels merely because I've played them so damn frequently to the point where I can basically beat even the hardest levels first try. Luigi's Purple Coins is certainly no different, though I would have to agree that it is the trickiest Purple Coin mission in the game. Located in the Toy Time Galaxy, presumably taking place after Mario meets Mario, the idea is to collect 100 of the 150 purple coins in 3 minutes. Okay. The trick is that the planet, which is just an 8-bit rendition of Luigi, is made entirely out of shrinking platforms, rotating platforms, and a poison swamp. Is this why people are into Luigi all of a sudden? Because he has a crazy hard level modeled after him? And I don't see why this
No, that's not the reason.
level should top any top
And I don't even think that people are into Luigi more than Mario. I'm certainly not.
10 of this nature. The timer is not an issue. If you were paranoid to rush through the level, you could just spin after every jump for extra accuracy and you'd still get the 100th coin with at least a minute left. By the way, spinning helps out a lot towards the beginning of the level where you need a trail to lead you to the Power Star once you trigger it. But that's not the issue either, nor is it the hazards that surround you. No, the hardest part of this level is the godforsaken camera.
No, not at all.
Thing just does not want to stay still, and it's impossible to sync it up to the direction you're running in unless you're a master of the C button on the nunchuck or something like that. It might just be me, but something tells me that the developers left the camera like this on purpose,
The hardest part, in my opinion, is the shrinking platforms.
just to incite a positive reaction from the gaming community when they finally fixed it for Luigi's Purple Coin Chaos in Galaxy 2. Because otherwise that star might have been damn near impossible, especially with all those cosmic clones tailing our plumber who likes the Blackhawks. Or Stars. Anyway, if there were any fewer coins in this mission, say instead of 150 there were a total of 130, then I might have thought about putting this one a smidge higher on this list, but as it stands, there are a few stars that are more horrifyingly ridiculous to get than this one. Like the next one. No. No! 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 So, Bonefin Galaxy only has one power star. From hell! Kingfin's fearsome waters? How about Kingfin's shitty shell shooting? This guy, aside from being a ghost in a shark skeleton or something along those lines, is my worst nightmare. The underwater control.
Is it really just hard? Is it really just a nightmare, or is it actually hard?
Controls in this game are better than in most other games, I'll give it that, but I'm still lacking in the precision needed to aim at him. You have to throw a total of 5 Koopa shells at him before he disintegrates for good, but during the fight he summons loads upon loads of Mario-seeking fish bones that want nothing more to do than to chow on our 55-star plumber.
Alright, fair enough.
At least I'm assuming you're playing as Mario. When you pick up a shell, you have to swim around for a while until you find Kingfin. That's simple enough. Your music track will change when you get close enough, but swimming in a super small planet throws me off when it comes to gravity. When I let go of the shell, does it fly straight? What even is this game's definition of straight? I have to get dangerously close to it before I shoot, but even then I miss half my shots, and regardless of whether I hit him or not, a fishbone usually ends up catching me as well. I told you, I don't need your star mushroom. Nope, still don't need it. You'd think he'd crumble after 3 hits, but no. He just calls upon even more fish bones and they all start swimming faster. How many coins are in this level anyways? Like 3? There's a point where you can pick up a red shell, and I hear the red shells are supposed to home in on your target, but I swear, every red shell I throw misses. Maybe it has to do with the autopilot that kicks in once you pick up shell underwater, or
I think it's just luck.
maybe it's my inability to tell what straight is, but I always dread playing this level, especially when I play as Luigi. You gotta watch how close you are to Kingfin or his baddies,
Why especially Luigi? What's very different about Luigi?
how fast you're going with the shell, how much life you have, and how much air you have. You know what? Fuck this. Gizmo's Gears and Gadgets. I will never forget the first time I ever played this level. The Trial Star in Rolling Gizmo Galaxy looked simple enough, and I was absolutely ready to get this one over with, as with every other star in the latter half of my initial playthrough. But then, I died. And I died again. And I died a third time. This level shredded my 1-up counter. It's probably the main reason I got so many game overs during that playthrough. It was so freaking hard! Anyway, you probably thought the Electric Labyrinth was the last you'd hear from the Trial Galaxies on my top 10 list, didn't you? Well, back in my middle school years, using the ever-so-gimmicky Wii Remote sensor thing without Motion Plus to have Mario atop a rolling ball rolling through,
Why'd you break those other bricks?
Gizmo's Gears and Gadgets, without railings, being flung into moving platforms everywhere, across tight rollways, having to avoid bombs that rocket you into the sky if you hit them, and resisting the temptation to go for that 1-up at the very end was so hard that it would definitely
That temptation is not bad. Don't
This
worry.
is the hardest level to beat, in my opinion. I mean, back then. And judging from me watching so many top 10s on this subject matter as of recent, I probably would have questioned why so many people thought otherwise. Contrary to other entries in this list, you can actually take your time here. In fact, that's what I strongly advise you to do. Go at a snail's pace, especially at the very beginning, no matter how tempting it may be to hop, skip, and jump to the other side. Trust me, the coins are there just to distract you. I just got lucky with a 100+ coin run on my first try. Just goes to show how much Motion Plus actually helps. I'm only kidding. I seriously considered making this number 3 on the list, but eventually I realized that the following star was special. You'll see why. Lava Spire Daredevil Run.
What? Isn't this the number 1? What are the other 2? Why isn't this one on number 1? I found this one to be very hard.
Well, the lava's not blue, so there's one good thing going for it. The Prankster Comet mission in the Melty Molten Galaxy has you replay the sinking lava spire, which was already badass in my mind to begin with because back then the theme for the Daredevil Comet was my favorite from the game. And what do you know, the Daredevil version of Lava Spire is in fact a real level, and it's number 3 on my list. With just 1 bar of life, it's easy to accidentally run into a fire bastard, stand on a sinking platform for too long, get hit by a hot air geyser type thing, get stuck in the volcano.
Yeah, this one took me like 20 to 30 tries to beat it, recently.
Because you are tempted by the star bits, lose your pulsar path, collide with the hot stuff, more fire bastards, more geysers.
The fire bastards are the worst.
Some unstable platforms that give way as soon as you touch them, and of course, the lava spire. The whole course must be played in 1 run in order to be successful.
Why do you die like that?
Much like the speedrun comet missions. The problem is that completing the speedrun levels in 1 go is par for the course. I can see why so many people have trouble with this start. It's asking a lot from you. This is the only Daredevil level in which you have to play the entirety of the original level, which makes it one of my favorites in this series, along with Boomsday Machine or Mini Planet. The only difference is that this one is completely devoid of checkpoints, which makes losing here all the more agonizing.
If you play this game, this image will be burned in your retina.
Whose voice is that? Yours?
Perfect run of Mario Galaxy 1. Maybe.
No way. Perfect Run is way harder. At least 10 times.
But this is only number 3 on my list, and I have a feeling that I'll surprise many of you with my final 2 picks. You know what level I always dread playing in every new school Mario game ever? The final boss. Oh.
What? Okay, maybe the credits are hard. The final boss is not hard. At least the battle itself.
God, am I gonna have to watch an obligatory ridiculous endgame sequence and 5-minute credit roll that I can't skip out of for whatever reason? It's so draining. But at least we have a somewhat entertaining final boss mission to make up for it. To defeat Bowser once and for all, Mario must infiltrate Bowser's galaxy reactor, wherein the fate of the universe is quite literally in, well, your hands. But after all this time, I kind of find it hard to imagine what exactly would happen if Mario did fail, because, well, okay, what the fuck? How do I get up the... Oh, the road to Bowser is the hardest part by far, actually. This is probably
No, that planet is.
the one star that best exemplifies Bowser wanting you dead. I mean, look at this. There's so many ways to slip up that there's hardly any room for error. These ice blocks can only help you for 6 seconds, then they disappear. I hope to God that blue stuff is ice. The cool
No, it is like lava.
lava platform and the stone platform are there just to push you away from the goal and make you panic. Pure platforming at its finest. I still cannot figure out how to get past those fire bars without taking a hit.
I figured it out once.
I have to long jump into them to escape falling to my death because one of the cosmic blocks suddenly disappeared on me. Thanks. This tower-like planet can fuck off. But hey, you finally get to see the princess. Yeah, about that thing you wanted to give me, Peach. This particular Bowser battle is by far the longest of its kind in this game, taking you from planet to planet, eventually leading you into the galaxy reactor itself, where Bowser makes a shitload of shockwaves and throws a motherfucking shitload of fireballs. Good grief, he wants Mario deader than dead. But of course he was no match for me. I ate fireballs for breakfast.
I beat this battle first try when I was very young once I made it to the boss.
Oh hey, I didn't know the Star Festival was still going on. Once you collected all 120 Power Stars as both Mario and Luigi, you unlock the Grand Finale Galaxy, which throws one final test at you. See if you can collect 100 purple coins. Okay. While being distracted by a whole army of mushroom guys, kitty penguins, waste machines, galactic rabbits, talking signs, space candies, and a nice view of Peach's castle with no sign of Peach anywhere. But didn't she invite Mario into the castle for cake?
Why are you being negative about all this? Doesn't it look nice? Doesn't the view look nice? Can you say anything positive?
Literally 120 stars earlier? When does Mario get his cake? So you get all the coins and arrive at the door to the castle, only to find out it's closed. And you get stopped by a mushroom guy who threatens to stuff your non-existent...
What? That's not a threat, and it's non-existent.
Message board with a photo that
It's
really has no
existent.
explanation. Alright, I heard you the first time. Jeez. Just wanted to make sure you're actually watching this video. But in all seriousness, the actual #1 hardest star to get in Super Mario Galaxy is the underground ghost ship.
That took me like one try. This is easier than the Ghost Ship regular star, because this level is shorter. And plus, Top Maniac Daredevil run is actually harder than this one as well. This is actually practically the easiest Daredevil run for me, I will admit. Because it took me one try to beat it.
Daredevil run. Did any of you know this was coming? Would you ever have thought that to this day it still takes me a good 4 or 5 attempts to get the star?
That's really not that bad.
The only thing you do is hop on the ghost ship and fight Camilla, but there's a shitload of star bits underneath the ship that you might want to grab before hopping on.
Why? To get 1-ups?
You know, just in case. Anyway, Camilla. She throws things at Mario, fireballs and Koopa shells that could never hit him if he stood still. To this day, you don't know why she throws the Koopa shells, but you are not about to complain about that. But I prepare to rage every time she escapes to the poop deck and summons her henchmen. With still little space to work with in the second half of the battle, more like the other 3/4, I have no choice but to flail around helplessly just to avoid all that fire. Look at this! So much fire! Sure, you can take out one of the Magic Koopas, but take too long to defeat her afterward.
That's not nearly as much fire as on Melty Molten Galaxy or stuff like that.
And he comes back. You know, the epitome of every hard boss ever. At this point, she loves to shoot 2 fireballs at a time before she shoots that one shell. And the Magic Koopas shoot nothing but fireballs. I tell you, I was more than ready to throw in the towel after giving her the 3rd hit my first time through. But no, it turns out you have to hit her a total of 4 times. Jeez, don't you think that's asking you a bit much? This is like the perfect run on fucking crystal meth.
That is not even close. Alright? That is dead wrong. Perfect run is so much harder than this.
You have only one job, but you have to be perfect. And given how easy it is to get hit, especially in the latter half of the battle, this is probably the most well-deserved star this game has to offer. And that's all I have to say about that. Ooh, what's that Sling Star doing down there? You know, I'm not gonna take this.